Hello, Gray Dog here with you again. I want to talk with you in this short video about the lure of leads and company stock shares. This is a trap you got to be wary of. So first things first, let me define a lead for you. A lead is not a prospect. A lot of companies will say, oh, we got more leads than we can handle. Yeah, we need agents come in to take care of all these leads. They're not even leads. They're most likely a prospect. Now, what's a prospect? That's someone, if you look at a neighborhood, there's a bunch of people who live in a bunch of houses out there. Those are all prospects because they've got potential, but we just don't know anything about it. They're a mystery to us. So prospects, they've got potential, but they're a mystery. They're not a lead. Then there's a suspect. A suspect might be somebody that talked to somebody and said, we think we're going to be putting a house on the market here and then get something bigger, etc. Well, that's a possibility of a lead. So they're a suspect to become a lead. And then finally, there's the curiosity seekers. Companies will call curiosity seekers leads. People who go on the internet and they look at homes, they enjoy looking at homes, and they want to find out a little bit more information. They'll click on that more information button. If there happens to be a concierge service with whatever site they're on who calls them, they won't even answer the call or whatever, but they're not serious about it. They're just curious and they enjoy looking at it. So companies will call them leads and they'll mislead you into thinking they've got leads, but really they have prospects, they've got curiosity seekers, and they probably don't have suspects. So you have to be careful. Now, what exactly is a lead? Well, that's someone who has a real need to buy or sell real estate. That's legitimate. That's genuine. That's what you want to find out. Second thing is it's someone who has already spoken with an agent in some fashion. They've taken that first step in the process of buying or selling to gather some information to help them accomplish their goal. And finally, that's someone who wants to speak with you. So when you talk to them, you go, "Yeah, I like what you're saying. Let's schedule a Zoom meeting or time for you to come over, whatever." They want to speak with you. Now that, my friends, is a lead, not a prospect, not a suspect, not a curiosity seeker. But many companies will trick you into thinking they have leads when in reality they do not. So you have to be careful, be wary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 lead questions to ask on your interview when they start talking about all these wonderful leads that they've got that they just don't have enough agents to handle and need you. Ask them, how many leads would I get per month? Now, they won't give you an answer most likely. They don't know, or they don't want to tell you that, well, you don't get them every month, or we don't know, or there's not that many. They're not going to tell you that. But it's a really good question to position them in this interview. Remember, you've got something at stake in this interview, and they don't have an edge over you. Second question I'm going to give you, when do I start getting my leads? This is an interesting situation because if they say, oh, right away, yeah, as soon as you come on board, let me ask you this. They give you a lead. What are you going to do with it? You don't know anything about it yet. You haven't been trained. You don't have any experience. So they're probably not telling you the truth with that. And if they are, that's really stupid. They're wasting leads if they have them. But again, remember, it's probably not a lead, just a prospect, curiosity seeker. Here's a third question. Say, what percentage of the leads close? Now, I've got an industry number to give you here that might surprise you. Between 0.5% and 1% of leads, that's leads, actually close. Now, this category, I believe, because it's a national number coming from the different portals, um, that includes the prospects, the suspects, the curiosity seekers. That's why you have to really know what a lead is and have a set of qualifying questions to determine that. But let me help you set your expectations. Don't expect the moon. It's a half to 1%. So if they give you 100 leads in a year, well, you might get one that closed. Think about that. Next question I have for you is ask them, what's the cost of a lead? Because my friends, they're not free. I mean, they're going to be charging you that company split if you choose a split company rather than a 100% company. They're going to be charging you a franchise fee if you choose one of those. They're going to be charging you the monthly fee. You might be hooked into a team fee. That's a lot. But if they generate a lead for you, they're probably going to charge between 25 and 30% more for providing that lead for you. They're just not free. And they don't think that you know that. Give them a little surprise. Ask them the question. So what does it cost? And finally, ask them this. Does everyone share equally in the leads? Now, if they tell you yes, you got to be careful here because they may be real stupid. Let's assume that you're in the company already and you're a good producer, and they're getting leads in, and they're giving leads equally to you. They're good producer. Maybe you're the best producer, and the same amount go to a brand new licensee, such as yourself. How are you feeling about that as their better or best producer? Not good. So they don't do that. So you got to be careful of the answer that they give you there. So there's some helpful information for you on that subject of leads when you get in that interview. Now, the other thing is the old company stock ruse. This is a bright and shiny approach. You got to really be careful here. I'm going to give you 4 stock or share questions to ask regarding this. And the first thing you want to ask is, well, how much is it worth per share? Now, here's a tip. Before you ever go on that appointment, go on Google. Google it up. It'll tell you what their stock share is. So when you go in, either they're not going to know, or if they do know, they don't want to talk about it because real estate company stocks, they're not very expensive. They don't have a whole lot of value to them. Beware. Second question I have for you. Well, how many shares do I get and what do I get them for? Here's what they'll offer them for. Well, we're going to give you 1 for joining us. Yay, I got a $2.72 stock for joining. That's got a lot of value. We'll give you 1 at each closing. Wow. That would be how many in a year? And if you recruit an agent to us, we'll give you 1 for doing that too. Folks, that's a pittance compared to that percentage that they're taking. So let me give you the third question. What happens to my shares if I leave? And they may very well likely have a clause in your contract that says that they have the right to buy them back from you when you leave at the price that they were when they gave them to you, something like that. I don't know, but you got to ask the question. What happens to them? I mean, you didn't buy them, they gave them to you, but they may have given them to you with conditions. So let me give you this proposal. Say, how about you don't charge me a 30% split, a 6% fee for the franchise name, and you can keep your stock. And if I want some, I'll buy it on the open market. How about that? I'm pretty sure they're not going to want to go for that, but you ought to really ask the question because it's going to tell you about that possibility that you're thinking about getting into. Be careful, beware. So watch for the next video. I'm going to talk to you about something called recruiting pyramids. There's a few companies out there using this technique. It's a shame, but you got to be real careful. So that'll be coming real soon. And if you have any questions, email me at graydogsays@gmail.com. See you on the next video.